Let me tell you guys about BellyUpSports. BellyUpSports is the internet sports bar. Go ahead and check out their website, www.bellyupsports.com, to read some great articles from great writers all across the country, from hockey, baseball, golf, soccer, you name it. BellyUpSports is the premier, not your average website. Bundesliga kicks off this weekend. The last of the leagues that are coming in, at least of the Power Five. Actually, weirdly enough, usually League One starts around the same time with Bundesliga, but I think because now that they went down to 18 teams, which I don't know how that makes any sense, they're now starting a week before. I don't know. It's weird. But the teams that will be featured with the Bundesliga this season is FC Augsburg, Bayer Leverkusen, Bayern Munich, VfL Bochum, Borussia Dortmund, Borussia Mönchengladbach, Eintracht Frankfurt, SC Freiburg, Heidenheim, Hoffenheim, Holstein Kiel, Mainz, RB Leipzig, FC St. Pauli, VfB Stuttgart, Union Berlin, Werder Bremen, and VfL Wolfsburg are the teams. New faces in the Bundesliga this year. We have St. Pauli back in the Bundesliga, as well as Holstein Kiel. I wish I gave you guys some research on Kiel, but I did not. St. Pauli was an interesting story because they had the American that's actually German because his parents were German, but he was born in Houston, Texas, and I'm going to claim him. But he actually moved. He actually took a job at Brighton. So
almost had it.
So I'm gonna pray for St. Pauli. This is the part that kind of sucks about teams that have like at least like an exciting young coach, where because the guy's like I think somewhat around my age. You're doing, you get promoted, you're excited for next year, you're ready to get led by the charge with your manager, and then you get swept under the rug by another team. And so I'm gonna pray for you guys. You and Holstein Kiel, I hope you guys stay afloat for one more season in the Bundesliga. But if we know Bundesliga very well, more than likely you're both probably gonna get relegated. This is probably what's gonna happen.
That's what happens usually.
Yeah. But yeah, new faces for the Bundesliga. Those are the two teams. I forgot who was the team that actually played the promotion game, but they stayed afloat. I think it might have been Bochum. I'm not entirely sure. So, team to watch this season in the Bundesliga.
I'm gonna say Stuttgart. I mentioned it just now. I think Stuttgart for me is that team that they were maybe a surprise last year. They did get better in the summer window. While they still have a chance to go get gutted here in the next couple of weeks, I don't think they will. So for me, I think Stuttgart is that team to watch. I don't know if they have enough to get over that hump and finish first, but crazier things have happened, and especially with the Bundesliga, you never know if Bayern gets off to a stumble somewhere along the way, Leverkusen doesn't do well, and Stuttgart gets off to a 10-game unbeaten streak. That Bundesliga is a team is a league of runs, so you never know. So with Stuttgart, I'm interested to see what they're able to do for sure.
Yeah, and I mean Stuttgart is a team that if it wasn't for the fact that Bayer Leverkusen went on the run they did, everyone will be talking about how much Stuttgart has improved. I mean, not that it wasn't that long ago. This team was like fighting to stay alive in the Bundesliga. To this team also surpassed Bayern Munich as well last year. So it is one of those things that and I'm sure Stuttgart's like, hey, we had a pretty good year too. We didn't win the Bundesliga, but we had a pretty good year too. So I think that's going to be all eyes on that team. Besides obviously Bayer Leverkusen, I think for me, my team to watch, is going to be Borussia Dortmund. They were, one game away from being Champions League winners. Obviously, fairly close in that game. I think obviously losing 2-0 doesn't look great on paper, but I mean, it was a very competitive game still throughout. Obviously Marco Reus, he's now in La La Land, technically Carson City. Edward will now be watching highlights of LA Galaxy. So clearly it wasn't enough to get him to even try to watch MLS. But I tried, guys. Marco Reus, he tried. Um, so you lose your captain. Hummels, I believe, is coming did come back, or I think or he was trying to come out of
No,
retirement.
he is no longer there.
Oh, he's no longer there.
Yep.
Okay, so as far as core leadership, I think that that's going to be up in the air, like who's going to be the next line of leaders for this team. I know they were hoping that they could somehow retain Jadon Sancho. I don't think that Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know if he played with Manchester United this week, but
I didn't see him on the field, but then again, I didn't really pay attention to United either that much.
yeah, I wish Dortmund was able to were able to bring back Jadon Sancho. That would have been a huge addition to them.
Yeah.
Um, but there's a lot of questions, right? Would would Gio Reyna be a part of Sahin's system? Sahin being the manager in general. I think Fulkrug left as well. I don't know if I think he went to West Ham or
Yeah,
Aston Villa.
he was crap, I literally just watched the game. I believe it's West Ham is where he's at now, Fulkrug.
Yeah, so I mean Sebastian Haller, it's gonna be probably him taking that leadership role, being the more senior player on the team.
Which is
Julian
wild because
Brandt,
he's like 24.
yeah, you got Julian Brandt, still in the mix over there. You still have players, but I think is obviously someone needs to step up, be the leader of this team, and obviously they need to make sure that they stay on the course of developing young players and have players come up and keep Borussia Dortmund afloat. I don't know if they're going to compete for the title this year, because I think that there's a lot of question marks still for Dortmund, but this could be the start of a very solid foundation for another young core players, which obviously Mario Götze, Robert Lewandowski, Marco Rose kind of generation players. Hopefully we can see that again, but only time will tell.
Yeah, Dortmund's a really interesting team. Um, you just never know what they're going to give you. And I said this, I feel like I said this last year when we were talking about can they pull it off in the Champions League. Yeah, I think last year was a perfect example. Yes, different manager with Terzic, but it was very odd to see them perform in the European stage, but not on the German stage, if you will.
I
And
mean, they
it's
qualified
wild.
on they qualified for the Champions League all by a technicality.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I never know what you're going to get what you're going to get from him, but I do think with Nuri Sahin as the manager, you have an opportunity to succeed there. But opportunities are one thing; what actually happens on the field is another. So it's going to take, I'm a big fan of Sebastian Haller, but he has yet to really take that step that you've been wanting him to take for the last 3 years, really. So well, I guess you could even say 4 years. So
I
I'm
mean,
waiting to
unfortunately, it
see.
wasn't for cancer, but
Fair.
and then I feel like he had to take a step back because of obviously playing for Ivory Coast in the African Cup of Nations, and that was in January. But Fulkrug was also on fire that year. That was, you can't not have him on the field kind of thing. Where
Mm-hmm.
the way he was scoring goals last year for Dortmund. But yeah, Dortmund is going to be an interesting team to watch. Um, I'm usually a big fan of their jerseys. I'm not a big fan of their Champions League jersey this year. They're going just too out there for me now. Um, you have a great color scheme, just you
Stick
know,
with it.
don't go
Yeah.
too crazy with it, but you got some things to work with there. But player to watch this season.
Oh man, I want to take a cutesy player this year, but I'm not going to do it. So I'm going to take Jamal Musiala. Musiala.
Musiala.
Musiala. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like he's if Bayern Munich is going to take that next step into obviously recovering from last year's disappointing third place last year, right? And I think if he's going to take that next step, which again, talk about a player you when wanting to kind of grow into his own role. Last year, given the 10, didn't really perform to the level of a 10, but he was impactful at times. Can he this year take over the game? Can he be the guy that is, oh no, he has the ball and he has space to run at somebody, or he has space to make that pass, that cutting pass that gets Harry Kane open for one of his 36 goals this year? That's going to be telling for me. So I'm gonna go with Musiala.
And that's a pretty good shout. I think it's still a boneheaded decision from Tuchel to pull both Harry Kane and Musiala when you're in a really close game against Real Madrid in the semifinal. Obviously, I'm not mad, but I mean, if you're a Bayern Munich fan, I definitely get why you're mad. Uh, but yeah, so like it was just you know that is definitely something also that's probably bothering. Not I mean, if you're an athlete, obviously you're supposed to have like short-term memory and all that, but you know he's like, if I would have just been able to keep playing, he's like I still had still something left in the tank. I could have got a pass in for a goal, kind of thing. I could have made sure Delic wasn't offside, kind of thing. But yeah, no, it's just a kind of those what ifs kind of thing. But yeah, Jamal Musiala is a good shot. I'm going to say thank God that Xavi Simons did not go to Bayern Munich. He is actually staying put at RB Leipzig, I believe. I think that's what I saw. At least that's what I recently read. Um, I think he should still be with Leipzig, hopefully.
Yep, he is still with Leipzig.
Yeah, so he's staying with Leipzig, which I think is a great thing for him. I think that this is the year where we're gonna see more from him. I think obviously he had a very good Euro. Just got overshadowed by a 17-year-old. But still solid for him. I think he's going to be part of a very bright future of this game once now that we're past the Messi Ronaldo era. Um, at least I believe it. I believe it is. Those two love to just pop up out of nowhere. Uh,
Hey, just wait till the Messi Jr. and Ronaldo Jr. Era.
yeah, nah. It's crazy
Yeah.
to think that like Messi's kid is not that far off from
No, neither one of them are.
Lamine
They're both,
Yamal's age.
yeah, they're both what, 13 and 14, I think, 13 and 15.
It's
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
insane.
I'm
Um,
too old now.
Jesus Christ, man. We're in a few years we're gonna see Thiago Messi and fucking Ronaldo Jr.
Don't say it. I don't want to think about it. Forget it. Next thing you
Yeah,
tell me DeMarcus Beasley's kids are playing soccer professionally.
I think isn't Ronaldinho's kid? I think he has like a trial with some team and he has a try. Anyways, not important.
Probably.
I mean, I'm surprised he even knows which one is his kids. I mean, he's got definitely impregnated way too many women.
Barca's U19 last year is where Ronaldinho's son, Joao Mendes, was at.
Ah,
And
okay.
they signed him.
Okay, so so
Yay.
can't wait to get tortured again. Last thing I want is another Dino fucking torturing me. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, yeah. So Xavi Simons is my player to watch. All right, Kelcey, favorite to win it.
Again, I want to go cutesy. Um, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to say Stuttgart.
Stuttgart.
I think my team to watch is the team to win it. I think I have questions about Xabi Alonso's ability to handle the pressure of being number one. And I don't think Vincent Company's Bayern is ready for Vincent Company. I know that sounds silly, but we talked about it early on in the show where you come into a team and they have a different play style and you're trying to instill your play style with players that don't necessarily adapt to that well. And I think Vincent Company, again, is coming in with a Anderlecht developed Pep Guardiola finished stylings to his gameplay. So it's a lot of quick passing efficiency, not a lot of, dancing on the ball type of styles, and very technical. You look at that roster with Bayern, you think there's potential to stumble. Obviously, their defense will be good. I'm not concerned about that, but my big concerns are in that midfield. Right, that's the connector for that team, that heart and soul connection. As I mentioned, Musiala is my player to watch. So if he doesn't perform, Harry Kane doesn't get an opportunity to score 35 goals, 36 goals. So that's where I'm at with this. I'm going to say Stuttgart maybe surprises some folks, but if you watched them last year, you maybe understand why I'm saying this. I think they are solid enough as a team to handle any ups and downs throughout the season and stay on course and stay consistent throughout the season. So I'm going to say Stuttgart.
Yeah, because I mean, and I wonder when we're gonna have that Vincent Company just starts yelling at everybody
Oh yeah,
because he's
it's
done.
coming. That press conference is coming. You know it is. And like the first,
He,
I'm gonna say it's within the first
he
2 months. I
did
gave
do
him
it in
2 months.
Anderlecht. I'm just gonna point
Yeah,
that out. He did. He also had a yell. There's a video of him yelling at everybody in the locker room at halftime. So yeah, he's known for
he's a
this.
defender. He's a defender. He's a hothead. He was a hothead on the field. You loved him or you hated him. If you didn't like Man City, you didn't like Vincent Company. And it wasn't until I got to watch him sit on the bench and sit in the stands that I actually started to like Vincent Company. And he played there 285 games, so way too long for a Man City player. Because he was that old Man City era. So yeah, no surprise if Vincent Company goes off on somebody especially during a German press conference where they are known to ask very pointed questions of the managers of teams.
Mhm. I think that's an Stuttgart is a very interesting shout. I believe they're the ones that actually lost Ito, so that's a pretty important player to lose, especially in that back line. But I mean, this is definitely a very unique season. Like the Bayer Leverkusen, do we see a sophomore slump? I kind of do see a slump, but that's just because like you can't go anywhere else but down when you have an undefeated season.
Yeah.
Um, so it's just common sense tells you that. Uh, Borussia Dortmund, I think, still will have their question marks as well. Um, you said it right about Bayern Munich. There's question marks there. Stuttgart looks like a very solid pick because of there's still some sturdiness. Yeah, you lose a pivotal piece in the back line, but I mean that was also a solid combination of just pure team effort from that Stuttgart team. Um, but I'm gonna go a little bit differently. I'm gonna go with RB Leipzig. I think,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was important that they kept Xavi Simmons there. I think he's going to be very pivotal in the attack in the midfield. Um, I mean, Leipzig, it's the Red Bull system, right? They get guys from Salzburg. Sometimes they don't get those guys from Salzburg. They go to Borussia Dortmund for some weird reason. Um, but I think having those options and obviously Red Bull just got their hands on Leeds United, which those jerseys look like shit. Um, I'm
No,
sorry.
no comment. You're not wrong, but no comment.
The color, just the color scheme of Leeds mixed in with the color scheme of Red Bull. It kind of how you're complaining, like you're not liking the Chelsea with the orange. I'm
Yeah,
not liking the red and the darker shade of yellow from the Red Bull look.
yeah. Like you got to make the yellow the same color. That's my whole thing. Like just match the logos, match the colors between the two, please.
It's a rough look. It's a
Yeah,
it's
that's
one of
being
those
nice
times
about
you
it.
kind of just like make it a monochromatic Red
Yeah,
Bull logo.
yeah. Black and white.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, I think this could be one of those, like you said, this could be one of those years where one team could just take full advantage of the question marks that it's gonna come from, and I mean the fewest question marks is from Bayer Leverkusen. But like I said, like you and me both said, we both feel there's a slump coming. Um, and and also they didn't necessarily get better. Um, and I think that's a fair quite honestly, I feel like that's the same thing we're saying throughout the leagues though. I don't think I mean, yes, Real Madrid got Mbappe, but did that make them any better? I mean, they literally drew 1-1 against Mallorca today, which is actually kind of on point for Real Madrid to be honest. But it's kind of on brand for them. But like there's not many teams where I'm like, "Whoa, they won the summer." Um I don't think I had that this year. Um,
There wasn't really though.
AC Milan
Like
got Morata, but okay, is
yeah,
that
nobody
cool?
nobody really got that home run this year. Obviously, yes, everybody can say Mbappe is that home run, but like everybody really like all the big players. This wasn't a summer window where you were excited for any big transfer move that wasn't Mbappe. Maybe Alfonso Davies could have moved, being a big name, but he stays for now. Obviously, probably as soon as this goes live, Alfonso Davies will then be moved somewhere. Just knowing the way it goes. But yeah, I don't feel like anybody really impactful other than
Okay,
Mbappe.
I'll retract my statement because I will say Atletico Madrid
Oh, that's
did
fair. Yeah.
did do very okay. If anybody won the summer transfer window, it's Atletico Madrid. You add Julian Alvarez and you add Colin Gallagher. So I think two solid
I'm trying to think if
additions.
there's anybody else though. There really isn't. Like maybe
But
I'm missing one, but yeah, there
but are they
really
gonna
isn't that
win La
big.
Liga?
It's a question, right? They maybe have the best goalkeeper right now.
Because what happened? What happens with João Felix? Like, does he stay? If he stays, I would say that's a good. Maybe Julian Alvarez can help mesh in, João Felix.
I
Even
don't
though
know,
that's
man.
probably still a
I
very
feel like Joao
awkward.
Felix is at that point in his timeline where it's
It's make or
maybe
break
too
it time.
long. Yeah, I think it's too long in the teeth for him at Atletico at this point in time. I think he has to move on just to have a chance to be
I mean,
successful.
I don't know how he answers to the whole celebrating scoring on them. Uh,
I think that was enough to tell you his thoughts on it.
yeah, that's probably fair point. But yeah, so but still, besides Atletico Madrid, I don't think I haven't been like, wow, what a summer.
I feel like I've celebrated people getting rid of players more than anything than
I
actually getting players.
I really think that's the case.
It's wild.
Thank God Chelsea got rid of Gallagher. if
Yeah, yeah, man.
oh man, this is rough. But all right, so that is the so you have your favorite is Stuttgart, my favorite is
Yeah.
RB Leipzig.
And just one correction to earlier what I said with the Super Cup. It did finish 6-5, but it was the total aggregation of score between penalties and the game. The game finished 2-2, and then it was 4-3 in penalties to
That is
Leverkusen.
that's unreal.
Yeah.
What a final. But
It's a Super Cup. Oh boy.
hey man, apparently people got defensive when I talk shit about Spanish Super Cup. So
I will keep talking about Super Cups. I have no problem with it.
enough, I agree. But yeah, so that is the Bundesliga preview. This weekend kicks it off. So yeah, I'm excited.